Question 1. During a daily stand-up in an Agile project, a team member reports a significant technical roadblock preventing them from integrating their code, which is a critical path item for the current iteration. The team has already tried a few basic troubleshooting steps without success. As the project manager/Scrum Master, what is your most appropriate next action? A. Ask the team to self-organize and resolve the issue on their own, as per Agile principles. B. Immediately assign the issue to a senior developer on a different team to solve. C. Facilitate a brief discussion among the team to identify potential solutions and then commit to assisting in its removal. D. Document the impediment and bring it up for discussion at the next sprint review meeting. Answer: C. Facilitate a brief discussion among the team to identify potential solutions and then commit to assisting in its removal. When an impediment arises, especially a significant one, the project manager or Scrum Master's primary role is to facilitate the team's efforts to resolve it while offering active support. Facilitating a quick discussion allows the team to collectively brainstorm solutions, leverage diverse perspectives, and feel empowered, rather than having a solution imposed upon them. Once the team has explored options, the leader can then step in to remove external obstacles or provide necessary resources, ensuring the impediment is addressed promptly to maintain flow. Remember, the goal is not to solve every problem for the team, but to enable the team to solve problems or remove obstacles they cannot overcome themselves. Question 2. A project team working on a new software release experiences frequent delays due to a complex, outdated internal approval process for new software licenses, which are required for their development tools. This process often takes weeks, hindering progress. What type of impediment is this, and who is typically best positioned to address it? A. A technical impediment, best addressed by the IT department. B. A resource impediment, best addressed by the procurement team. C. An organizational impediment, best addressed by senior management or the PMO. D. A process impediment, best addressed by the project team streamlining their own internal steps. Answer: C. An organizational impediment, best addressed by senior management or the PMO. This scenario describes an organizational impediment characterized by deeply rooted systemic issues or bureaucratic processes that extend beyond the project team's control. An outdated internal approval process for licenses is a clear example, as it typically involves multiple departments and established company policies. Addressing such an impediment often requires intervention from higher authority, such as senior management or the project management office, PMO, who have the authority to initiate changes to organizational policies or secure exceptions. Recognize that while the project team identifies the problem, overcoming deep-seated organizational obstacles usually requires support from those with enterprise-level influence. Question 3. In a hybrid project environment, the development team reports that a critical third-party vendor has unexpectedly announced a 2-week delay in delivering a key component. This will directly impact the project's critical path. As the project manager, what is your immediate priority regarding this impediment? A. Update the project schedule and communicate the new estimated completion date to stakeholders. B. Escalate the issue to senior management for a decision on project cancellation or delay. C. Collaborate with the team to identify alternative solutions or mitigation strategies. D. Issue a formal change request to reflect the delay and request additional budget. Answer: C. Collaborate with the team to identify alternative solutions or mitigation strategies. When faced with an external impediment like a vendor delay, the immediate priority for a project manager is to work with the team to explore potential solutions or mitigation strategies. This proactive approach aims to minimize the impact on the project by brainstorming alternatives, such as finding a new vendor, adjusting scope, or resequencing tasks, before resorting to schedule or budget changes. While updating plans and communicating with stakeholders are necessary steps, they follow the crucial effort to find a way to navigate or lessen the impediment's effect. Always prioritize problem-solving and mitigation actions before simply documenting the consequences. Question 4. During a retrospective meeting, an Agile team identifies that communication breakdowns between developers and testers are frequently leading to rework and missed deadlines. This has become a recurring impediment. What is the most effective long-term strategy for addressing this issue? A. The Scrum Master should strictly monitor all communication channels between developers and testers. B. Implement a mandatory daily report from each developer to their assigned tester. C. Facilitate discussions and agree on specific communication protocols, such as shared daily check-ins or pairing. D. Escalate the issue to their respective functional managers for disciplinary action. Answer: C. Facilitate discussions and agree on specific communication protocols, such as shared daily check-ins or pairing. When communication breakdowns become a recurring impediment, the most effective long-term strategy is to facilitate the team in establishing clear communication protocols. Rather than imposing top-down solutions or punitive measures, empowering the team to collectively design and agree upon improved interaction methods, such as shared daily check-ins, pairing, or dedicated communication channels, fosters ownership and sustainable change. This approach aligns with Agile principles of self-organization and continuous improvement, addressing the root cause by strengthening team collaboration. Remember, true improvement often comes from within the team's self-developed solutions, not from external mandates. Question 5. A project team in a predictive environment consistently struggles to obtain timely sign-offs from a key stakeholder, leading to scope creep and schedule delays. The project manager has attempted to schedule meetings, but the stakeholder remains unresponsive. What is the most appropriate next step for the project manager? A. Document the stakeholder's non-responsiveness and escalate to the project sponsor. B. Proceed with project work based on assumptions and note the risk in the risk register. C. Issue a formal letter to the stakeholder outlining the impact of their delays on the project. D. Rework the project schedule to accommodate indefinite delays for sign-offs. Answer: A. Document the stakeholder's non-responsiveness and escalate to the project sponsor. When a project manager faces a persistent impediment from a key stakeholder, such as unresponsiveness to critical sign-offs, and their direct attempts to resolve it have failed, the most appropriate next step is to escalate. Documenting the issue provides a factual basis, and escalating to the project sponsor is crucial because they typically have the authority or influence to intervene and unblock such issues with high-level stakeholders. This ensures the impediment is addressed at the appropriate organizational level, protecting the project's progress and demonstrating proactive risk management. Don't let a single stakeholder hold the entire project hostage. Leverage your sponsor's influence. Question 6. An Agile team requires access to a specialized software tool that is essential for completing their current sprint backlog items. The procurement process for this tool is notoriously slow, and the team anticipates significant delays. Who is primarily responsible for ensuring this impediment is removed efficiently? A. The product owner, as they define the product backlog and priorities. B. The Scrum Master, as they are responsible for removing impediments for the team. C. A dedicated project administrator, responsible for handling all procurement tasks. D. The development team, as they are self-organizing and should find a workaround. Answer: B. The Scrum Master, as they are responsible for removing impediments for the team. In an Agile framework, particularly Scrum, the Scrum Master has a primary accountability for removing impediments that hinder the development team's progress. While the team may identify the need for a specialized tool, and the product owner defines product priorities, it is the Scrum Master who actively works to facilitate the resolution of obstacles like slow procurement processes. This involves coordinating with relevant departments, escalating issues, or finding alternative solutions to ensure the team can maintain its flow and achieve sprint goals. Remember, the Scrum Master acts as a servant leader, protecting the team from external interference and internal roadblocks. Question 7. A project team is working on a critical system upgrade. During testing, they discover a severe performance degradation that was not anticipated and requires significant architectural changes. This is a major technical impediment. What should be the project manager's initial focus? A. Immediately halt the project and reassess its feasibility. B. Gather a cross-functional team, including subject matter experts, to analyze the root cause and propose solutions. C. Inform stakeholders of the unexpected performance issue and the potential for significant delays. D. Develop a detailed change request to increase the project budget and schedule for the necessary rework. Answer: B. Gather a cross-functional team, including subject matter experts, to analyze the root cause and propose solutions. When a major technical impediment like severe performance degradation is discovered, the project manager's initial focus should be on understanding the problem thoroughly to develop effective solutions. This involves convening a cross-functional team, including relevant subject matter experts, to conduct a root cause analysis and brainstorm viable technical solutions. Only after understanding the problem and potential fixes can informed decisions be made about the project's future, stakeholder communication, or formal change requests. Prioritizing root cause analysis and solution identification ensures that any subsequent actions are based on a clear understanding of the issue, preventing impulsive decisions. Question 8. The project team reports that they are consistently receiving conflicting instructions from two different functional managers regarding the priority of certain tasks. This is leading to confusion and delays. What is the best approach for the project manager to address this impediment? A. Request that both functional managers communicate only through the project manager. B. Arrange a meeting with both functional managers to clarify priorities and align expectations. C. Ask the team to follow the instructions of the functional manager with the higher organizational authority. D. Document the conflicting instructions and let the team decide which to follow. Answer: B. Arrange a meeting with both functional managers to clarify priorities and align expectations. Conflicting instructions from functional managers represent a communication and organizational impediment that directly impacts team productivity. The best approach for the project manager is to proactively facilitate a direct conversation between the conflicting parties. By arranging a meeting, the project manager can help clarify roles, align expectations, and agree on a unified approach to task prioritization, ensuring the team receives consistent guidance. This direct intervention fosters collaboration and prevents further confusion, demonstrating effective stakeholder management and conflict resolution. Remember, resolving conflicts at the source is key to unblocking team progress. Question 9. An Agile team consistently misses its sprint commitments because critical testing environments are unstable and frequently crash. The IT operations team, responsible for these environments, is understaffed and slow to respond. What is the most appropriate action for the Scrum Master? A. Encourage the team to work around the environment issues and adjust their sprint velocity. B. Escalate the issue directly to the CIO, bypassing the IT operations manager. C. Work with the IT operations manager to highlight the business impact and explore potential solutions or temporary fixes. D. Document the environment issues and present them as risks in the next sprint review. Answer: C. Work with the IT operations manager to highlight the business impact and explore potential solutions or temporary fixes. When a critical impediment like unstable testing environment stems from an external dependency, IT operations, that is also understaffed, the Scrum Master's most appropriate action is to engage directly with the manager of that department. Highlighting the business impact of the unstable environments provides a compelling reason for intervention, and collaboratively exploring solutions demonstrates a partnership approach. This pragmatic step helps secure necessary support and resources without immediately resorting to high-level escalation, which should be reserved after attempts at direct collaboration. Remember, effective impediment removal often involves building bridges and demonstrating the direct value of resolving the issue. Question 10. A project team requires specific data for a new feature, but the data owner is on extended leave, and no one else has access or authority to provide it. This lack of data is an impediment to completing the feature. What is the first action the project manager should take? A. Wait for the data owner to return from leave. B. Identify an alternative data source or a temporary workaround. C. Escalate the issue to the project sponsor to gain access. D. Remove the feature from the current scope until the data is available. Answer: C. Escalate the issue to the project sponsor to gain access. When critical project progress is blocked by a dependency on an unavailable individual, and there's no immediate alternative, the first action for the project manager should be to escalate the issue to the project sponsor. The sponsor typically has the authority and organizational influence to either grant access, designate an alternate data owner, or otherwise unblock the dependency. While seeking workarounds is good, directly addressing the core access issue through appropriate channels is often the fastest and most sustainable solution. Don't hesitate to leverage the sponsor's power when faced with an organizational or access-related roadblock that your team cannot resolve. Question 11. In a large, complex predictive project, the project team identifies that a critical hardware component has a design flaw, making it unusable. Replacing it will cause a significant delay and cost increase. As the project manager, what is the best initial response to this discovery? A. Inform the client immediately about the design flaw and the anticipated project impact. B. Assemble a rapid response team of engineers to validate the flaw and propose alternative solutions. C. Initiate a formal change request to reflect the new schedule and budget immediately. D. Update the risk register with the identified design flaw and its potential impacts. Answer: B. Assemble a rapid response team of engineers to validate the flaw and propose alternative solutions. When a critical technical impediment like a design flaw in a hardware component is discovered, the project manager's best initial response is to mobilize internal experts to thoroughly assess the issue and brainstorm solutions. Before informing stakeholders, proposing changes, or merely documenting, it's crucial to understand the exact nature of the flaw, its implications, and what alternatives might exist. This immediate, focused problem-solving effort allows for an informed discussion with stakeholders about realistic options and impacts, rather than presenting an unverified problem without potential remedies. Always prioritize understanding the problem and potential solutions first. Question 12. A project team member is consistently late in delivering their tasks, impacting team dependencies. During a one-on-one, they reveal they are struggling with a lack of specific skills for their assigned tasks and are hesitant to ask for help. What type of impediment is this primarily, and how should the project manager address it? A. A personal impediment. Recommend the team member seek external training. B. A skill gap impediment. Provide coaching, training, or reassign tasks. C. A motivation impediment. Implement performance monitoring and disciplinary action. D. A resource impediment. Hire an additional team member to cover the workload. Answer: B. A skill gap impediment. Provide coaching, training, or reassign tasks. This scenario describes a skill gap impediment, where a team member's inability to complete tasks stems from a lack of necessary skills, compounded by a reluctance to seek assistance. The project manager should address this by actively supporting the team member's development, which might include providing targeted coaching, arranging specific training, or, if necessary, temporarily reassigning tasks to better match their current capabilities while they acquire new skills. This supportive approach fosters growth and addresses the root cause of the delay, rather than simply penalizing or offloading the work, which builds trust and improves overall team competence. Question 13. An agile team in a regulated industry is facing an impediment where new compliance requirements, announced mid-sprint, might invalidate some of their completed work. The interpretation of these requirements is unclear. Who should the Scrum Master or Project Manager engage first to resolve this? A. The Legal Department or Compliance Officer for clarification. B. The Product Owner to reprioritize the backlog based on the new requirements. C. Senior Management to request an exemption from the new requirements. D. The Development Team to quickly implement changes based on their best guess. Answer: A. The Legal Department or Compliance Officer for clarification. When new compliance requirements emerge with unclear interpretations and threaten completed work, the project manager or Scrum Master's first step must be to seek expert clarification from the relevant authority. Engaging the legal department or a compliance officer is crucial to accurately understand the new regulations and their specific impact on the project, preventing misinterpretations or unnecessary rework. Only after gaining clear guidance can informed decisions be made about reprioritization, scope adjustments, or potential exemptions. Always seek expert clarification for regulatory impediments to avoid making uninformed and potentially costly decisions. Question 14. A key project stakeholder consistently provides feedback that contradicts previously approved requirements, leading to significant rework and team frustration. This is a recurring impediment. What is the most effective strategy for the project manager to manage this? A. Document each instance of contradictory feedback and send formal warnings to the stakeholder. B. Include the stakeholder in all daily team meetings to ensure constant alignment. C. Facilitate a meeting with the stakeholder and the project sponsor to realign on project objectives and scope. D. Implement a strict change control process that requires formal sign-off for all feedback. Answer: C. Facilitate a meeting with the stakeholder and the project sponsor to realign on project objectives and scope. When a key stakeholder repeatedly provides contradictory feedback, causing significant rework, it indicates a fundamental misalignment regarding project objectives and scope. The most effective strategy for the project manager is to address this at a higher level of authority and clarity. Facilitating a meeting with the stakeholder and the project sponsor allows for a realignment on the project's foundational goals and agreed-upon scope, leveraging the sponsor's authority to reinforce decisions and ensure consistent direction moving forward. This proactive measure prevents future conflicts by resolving the root cause of the conflicting directives. Question 15. The project team reports that they are unable to progress on a critical deliverable because a necessary testing environment is perpetually unavailable due to competing priorities within the IT department. This bottleneck is an ongoing impediment. What action demonstrates the project manager's proactive approach to impediment removal? A. Reporting the issue as a risk in the monthly status report. B. Requesting a meeting with the IT department head to discuss resource allocation and prioritization. C. Instructing the team to work overtime to compensate for the environment downtime. D. Developing a workaround solution using a less-than-ideal testing environment. Answer: B. Requesting a meeting with the IT department head to discuss resource allocation and prioritization. A proactive project manager addresses recurring impediments by targeting their root cause and engaging with the appropriate authority. When a critical testing environment is consistently unavailable due to competing IT priorities, the most proactive step is to initiate a direct discussion with the IT department head. This allows the project manager to articulate the project's critical needs, discuss resource allocation strategies, and collaboratively find a lasting solution that prioritizes the project's requirements, rather than simply documenting the problem or implementing temporary fixes. Remember, proactive impediment removal involves tackling the problem at its systemic level. Question 16. In an Agile sprint, a team member identifies that a third-party API, essential for their current user story, is not responding correctly. This technical impediment needs immediate attention. What is the most effective approach for the team to handle this? A. The team member should independently try to debug the API problem for the rest of the sprint. B. The Scrum Master should immediately contact the third-party vendor's support. C. The team should swarm on the issue, jointly investigate, and then inform the Scrum Master if external help is needed. D. The product owner should decide if the user story can be deferred to the next sprint. Answer: C. The team should swarm on the issue, jointly investigate, and then inform the Scrum Master if external help is needed. In Agile, teams are empowered and encouraged to be self-organizing and collaborative in resolving impediments. When a technical issue like a non-responsive API arises, the most effective approach is for the team to swarm on it, meaning multiple team members collectively investigate and attempt to solve the problem. This leverages collective intelligence and accelerates diagnosis. If, after their combined efforts, the team determines they cannot resolve it internally, then they should inform the Scrum Master, who can then escalate to external vendors or stakeholders for support. Empower the team to be the first line of defense against impediments. Question 17. The project team is blocked because a newly assigned junior team member lacks the necessary foundational skills for a critical technical task, and their direct manager is unavailable for training. What is the most appropriate way for the project manager to remove this impediment? A. Reassign the task to a more experienced team member immediately. B. Arrange for an experienced team member to mentor or pair with the junior team member. C. Document the skill gap and advise the junior team member to seek external courses. D. Contact the junior team member's functional manager to request a replacement. Answer: B. Arrange for an experienced team member to mentor or pair with the junior team member. When a junior team member faces a skill-based impediment, the most appropriate and supportive way for a project manager to address it is by facilitating internal knowledge transfer. Arranging for an experienced team member to mentor or pair with the junior colleague provides immediate, on-the-job training and accelerates their skill acquisition. This approach not only unblocks the current task but also fosters team growth and capability, aligning with principles of continuous learning and empowerment. Prioritize internal solutions that build team capacity before seeking external replacements or offloading responsibilities. Question 18. A project team has developed a new software module, but deployment to the production environment is constantly delayed by a manual, multi-step approval process that is error-prone and time-consuming. This is an organizational process impediment. What is the most strategic long-term solution? A. Train the team to manually complete the approval steps more efficiently. B. Implement automated deployment pipelines and integrate approval gates into the workflow. C. Escalate every deployment delay to senior management for immediate intervention. D. Assign a dedicated administrator to manage the approval process for the team. Answer: B. Implement automated deployment pipelines and integrate approval gates into the workflow. For a recurring organizational process impediment like a manual, error-prone deployment approval process, the most strategic long-term solution involves process automation. Implementing automated deployment pipelines with integrated approval gates streamlines the process, reduces human error, and significantly accelerates deployments without bypassing necessary controls. This transforms a bottleneck into an efficient workflow, demonstrating a proactive approach to continuous improvement. Look for opportunities to automate cumbersome manual processes to remove systemic impediments for good. Question 19. During a weekly meeting, a project team member expresses concern that they are overwhelmed with too many tasks and feel burnt out, impacting their performance. This is an impediment to team productivity. What is the project manager's primary responsibility in this situation? A. Remind the team member of their commitments and deadlines. B. Document the individual's performance issues for future review. C. Work with the team member to reprioritize tasks, offload work, or adjust workload. D. Advise the team member to manage their time better and take breaks. Answer: C. Work with the team member to reprioritize tasks, offload work, or adjust workload. When a team member expresses feeling overwhelmed and burnt out, the project manager's primary responsibility is to address this human-centric impediment directly and supportively. This involves engaging with the individual to understand their workload, collaboratively reprioritizing tasks, offloading some responsibilities to other team members, or adjusting their overall workload to a sustainable level. Prioritizing team well-being and managing capacity ensures individual productivity is restored and prevents potential burnout, which could impact the entire project. Remember, a healthy team is a productive team. Question 20. A project team is experiencing difficulty integrating a legacy system with their new application because the documentation for the legacy system is outdated and key personnel who understood it have left the organization. This is a knowledge-based impediment. What is the best immediate action for the project manager? A. Hire an external consultant specializing in legacy systems. B. Halt the integration work until comprehensive new documentation is created. C. Initiate a knowledge transfer session with remaining experienced staff or search for internal experts. D. Recommend migrating away from the legacy system entirely. Answer: C. Initiate a knowledge transfer session with remaining experienced staff or search for internal experts. When facing a knowledge-based impediment due to outdated documentation and departed personnel, the best immediate action for the project manager is to leverage existing internal resources. Initiating a knowledge transfer session with any remaining experienced staff who might have insight, or actively searching for other internal experts, can quickly uncover crucial information or workarounds. This approach prioritizes internal solutions and leverages existing organizational knowledge before resorting to costly external consultants or drastic system changes. Always look for internal expertise first when knowledge gaps become impediments. Question 21. A critical software patch is required for a project system, but the cybersecurity department has a strict 30-day review period for all changes, even urgent ones. This is an organizational policy impediment. What is the most effective project manager action? A. Submit the patch for review and accept the 30-day delay. B. Negotiate with the cybersecurity department manager for an expedited review process for critical items. C. Instruct the team to find a workaround that bypasses the cybersecurity review. D. Escalate the issue to the CEO, demanding immediate approval for the patch. Answer: B. Negotiate with the cybersecurity department manager for an expedited review process for critical items. When encountering an organizational policy that acts as an impediment, like a strict 30-day cybersecurity review, the most effective project manager action is to negotiate for an expedited process. Engaging directly with the cybersecurity department manager allows the project manager to explain the project's criticality and explore possibilities for a faster review of urgent items without compromising necessary security protocols. This collaborative approach seeks a mutually beneficial solution rather than simply accepting delays or attempting to bypass essential controls. Effective project managers are skilled negotiators who find common ground to remove roadblocks. Question 22. In an Agile project, the product owner is frequently unavailable to clarify user story details, causing the development team to make assumptions and leading to rework. This is a recurring communication impediment. What is the most appropriate role for the Scrum Master to play? A. Take on the role of clarifying user stories directly with the team. B. Schedule mandatory daily availability slots for the product owner. C. Coach the product owner on their availability and role in the sprint. D. Escalate the product owner's unavailability to their functional manager. Answer: C. Coach the product owner on their availability and role in the sprint. When the product owner's unavailability becomes a recurring impediment to the development team, the Scrum Master's most appropriate role is to coach the product owner. As a servant leader and Agile coach, the Scrum Master should educate the product owner on the importance of their active participation and availability for the team's success in clarifying user stories and accepting completed work. This coaching helps the product owner understand the impact of their absence and encourages them to improve their engagement, fostering a more effective working relationship. Remember, coaching is a powerful tool for resolving people-related impediments within an Agile context. Question 23. A project team relies on a shared database that frequently crashes due to heavy usage from multiple concurrent projects. This impacts your project's progress. As the project manager, what is your most appropriate initial action to address this shared resource impediment? A. Demand exclusive access to the database for your project. B. Propose a meeting with other project managers to discuss database usage and potential solutions. C. Instruct your team to work during off-peak hours to avoid crashes. D. Report the database crashes as a risk in your project status report. Answer: B. Propose a meeting with other project managers to discuss database usage and potential solutions. When a shared resource, like a database, becomes an impediment due to contention from multiple projects, the most appropriate initial action for a project manager is to engage with other affected project managers. Proposing a collaborative meeting allows for a shared understanding of the problem and enables collective brainstorming of solutions, such as staggered usage, database optimization, or resource allocation adjustments. This collaborative approach fosters inter-project cooperation and seeks a systemic solution that benefits all affected projects, rather than simply claiming priority or working around the issue in isolation. Question 24. A newly formed Agile team is struggling with self-organization, frequently waiting for the Scrum Master to assign tasks or make decisions, which slows down progress. This is an impediment to team empowerment. What is the most effective way for the Scrum Master to address this? A. Take on a more directive role initially, then gradually reduce it. B. Conduct workshops on self-organization principles and team decision-making. C. Assign a team lead to delegate tasks and enforce decisions. D. Report the team's lack of self-organization to senior management. Answer: B. Conduct workshops on self-organization principles and team decision-making. When a newly formed Agile team struggles with self-organization and decision-making, the Scrum Master's most effective approach is to provide guidance and education. Conducting workshops on self-organization principles and team decision-making techniques empowers the team by equipping them with the necessary understanding and tools to operate autonomously. This supportive, educational approach fosters a true Agile mindset and helps the team grow into its self-organizing capabilities over time, rather than simply imposing decisions or escalating issues. Equip your team with the knowledge they need to be truly self-managing. Question 25. A critical deliverable for your predictive project requires sign-off from an external regulatory body. You've submitted all required documentation, but the body has gone silent, causing significant delays. This is an external impediment. What is the best course of action for the project manager? A. Assume approval and proceed with the next project phase. B. Continuously follow up with the regulatory body using multiple communication channels. C. Replan the project to remove the dependency on the regulatory body. D. Inform the project sponsor that the project is blocked indefinitely. Answer B. Continuously follow up with the regulatory body using multiple communication channels. When a critical external entity, like a regulatory body, goes silent and causes project delays, the best course of action for the project manager is persistent and varied follow-up. Continuously contacting them through multiple communication channels, example email, phone, official letters, perhaps leveraging high-level connections if available, demonstrates diligence and increases the likelihood of getting a response or understanding the bottleneck. This proactive engagement is crucial for external impediments, as it maintains pressure and seeks to unblock the situation without making assumptions or giving up prematurely. Persistence often pays off when dealing with external dependencies.